The next presentation that we have is from Stephanie Carlson, and it's related to Certified Personal Care Assistant.
A personal care assistant is someone who provides care and assistance for another individual that is in need of help, whether they may be sick, injured, elderly, have a form of special needs, or for other reasons. Personal care assistants can be known by a variety of different names, such as caregiver, home or health aides, PCA, etc. Personal care assistants work in the home of their clients and help them with daily activities, including bathing and bathroom functions, feeding, grooming, taking medications, following a routine schedule, housework, and much more. Another important part of a PCA's job is to help their client prosper in the community as well as the real world. So the steps to this, the first step to completing my project was to brainstorm an idea that would incorporate the responsibilities that come with being a personal care assistant and how to become certified. I then found an individual that needed a new caregiver, which allowed for the process to really begin. I did need to do research before continuing past this step because I needed to understand the role of a personal care assistant and the requirements that follow. I also had to fill out paperwork for the state that registered me as a personal care assistant and complete a class that allowed me to begin my work with Sydney. After these steps, the process began to flow and pieces were falling in. Language so we could really communicate. We would go on little dinner dates, we would visit the library, and I was teaching her what being a teenager is like. Being a personal care assistant is much more than just providing help for other individuals that need it. It's about growing with the individual and teaching them techniques so they don't feel so hopeless. Sydney and I would go into the town daily with a scheduled routine, which eventually allowed for other people in the community to start to be able to recognize Sydney. So we were making friends everywhere, and Sydney was really flourishing. So applying my skills from Guilford High School, being a student at Guilford High School, I acquired lots of useful information and skills that assist all aspects of my life, but especially to my project. Throughout my 4 years of high school and before then, I participated in coaching the Unified Sports Team, which really allowed for me to retain a grip of assertiveness and understanding for individuals with special needs and how to correctly give directions. Each individual operates differently with or without disabilities, but it's important to be able to form each peer's strengths and weaknesses so it is easier to work as a team. I also took an art of living class my sophomore year, which was incredibly helpful with this project when looking back, because that class really allowed for me to be my own teacher and kind of like take it into my own hands and really learn how to work with those with special needs. My senior year, I also took a special arts class, which really taught me how to be patient and how to like sustain an individual's attention because those with special needs tend to have a short attention span and like get very bored very easily. So, problems and obstacles. While continuing through this capstone, I did encounter a few different obstacles. One being Sydney is nonverbal, so she has a talker, which is the iPad she carries around, that allows her to give me a gist of what she's saying. I decided to teach Sydney sign language because she already knew a few signs, and I grew up learning sign language, so that was the perfect resolution. Another problem was keeping my project interesting because there was a lot of repetition in our routine. So I started taking Sid to new places and we were trying new foods and new activities, which really helped spruce up our own routine. Otherwise, I think the project went very smoothly and I really enjoyed the positive impact it made on the both of us as people. Applying what I learned to my life. I learned that the world does not see individuals that are different the same as I do. Um, with having a brother who has Down syndrome, I was already aware that he looked different and people would often stare and whisper. As I matured, I felt it was important to use these situations as a teaching moment. Sometimes I would become a little bit of a hot-headed teacher, like the time that I took Sid to eat at Mr. J's in Guilford, and a mother and her 2 children kept whispering and staring at Sid. So I went over to the table and politely asked them if there was an issue that we could resolve for them. The mother said there was no issue and apologized to me. I gave her a smile and told her that she should be apologizing to Sydney. And then we finished our meal and left. Everyone can be closed-minded at times about certain situations, which is why I'm so grateful for understanding the importance of not judging a book by its cover. What this project meant to me. This project meant a lot to me because it grew into more than just a project. It grew into a friendship as well. And Sydney and I still hang out, even though I might not really be her PCA anymore. But, what? Yeah, due to COVID, sorry. All right, anywho. Doing it differently. If I were to redo this capstone project, I would do a few things differently. I think I would do more research on the legitimate steps of becoming a personal care assistant and like a part of the union as well. I also think I would spread my timing out more because I was consistent with working on the capstone progress, just not as motivated as keeping up with like the time chart every session or the journal entries. I would also be more interactive with both my mentor and my advisor and keep them more in the loop of how the project is coming along so they can make suggestions overall. I do believe that this capstone was very successful, fun, and insightful though. Achieving my goal. My mentor did help me achieve my goal for sure. My mentor helped me achieve my goal by guiding me with information, helping me obtain insightful tips as well to keep Sid interested and keep her growing as an individual. My efforts. All in all, I did work very hard on this capstone. I might have gotten lost in the work at times because I wasn't pacing myself correctly, but I had a lot of fun during the process and learned lots of helpful life skills that I can use going off to college especially. I do think I was very energetic when it came to this project because Sydney and I were constantly trying new things together. But I do feel as though the questions revolving the capstone were harder to answer because of what we were doing, because it sounded like it was really repetitive, but it wasn't. It was more of a routine, because that's like what Sydney likes is a routine. She likes knowing exactly what's happening next. But I do think that the main goal was met and that the two of us had fun together, which I think is all that really mattered. And I think that the capstone was definitely a great idea, and that if I wasn't a senior, I would do it again. But other than that, I have like an actual question to ask you, so I don't know if you want to unmute, but I have like an actual application, like the paperwork. If you want me to show you guys, like exit it off.
Sure, absolutely.
We go get it? Okay, thank you. But yes, all these pictures are of Sydney. And you can tell she's got a very big attitude all the time, which is cool. Like I gotta tell them how quirky she is and sneaky. She's very sneaky.
How did you meet her?
I met her in I coached Unified Middle School as well, and I met her there, and her mom kind of like took a liking to me, and she was like, I have a job for you, and I was like, well, it was my freshman year, so I didn't even drive at that point, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I guess. So I've been with Sid for a while, and that's just literally how it started. She just saw me and was like, I like how you work with Sid, and that was that.
You could tell Sydney's very comfortable with you too, like just by the pictures that you've shown, like, you could tell that she's comfortable
I
with.
actually saw her yesterday for the
Uh-huh.
first time, like, because of COVID, obviously, and oh my goodness gracious, she like was beaming ear to ear with a smile, and immediately hopped in my car and was like, "We're going to the library." I was like, "Sid,
Aw.
I'm
She
here
made
for lunch." But she's also like I said, she's very like to a routine schedule. So she
Mm-hmm.
kept asking me like, "Where are we going? Where are we going?" I was like, "We're going to get lunch, then we're eating it, and then I'm leaving." So we got lunch. I ate it, and she was like, "All right, it's time to go." And her mom was like still talking to me, and she was like, "Nope, time to go. That's on the
Stick
routine."
with the plan, yes.
Yeah. All
So
right. Give me.
But you can't show the name or anything because.
All right, I'm not gonna show the name.
Well, it's just other names. And then there's all the pages that you have to see.
How do I make it back to my camera?
stop sharing. Click on stop sharing in red.
Oh,
There you go.
all right. So, wait, is there like any light over here? Can you guys? There we go. So, as you can see, it's like a good amount of paperwork. And the first one, yeah, and you have to go to workshops every so often and
Mm-hmm.
get new paperwork. But basically, it's, filling out forms and then, yeah, questionnaires. I'm trying to, where's like the legit, oh, here we go. Here's like the legitimate form.
This is for you to become the personal care assistant.
Yeah. But,
You have to get certified.
yeah, so you have to wait for like the state to certify you.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then, so that's why, yeah, so every what month?
Well, now it's changed to weekly.
It changed to weekly, but it used to be every month we would send in a time log of how often I met her and what we would do and like stuff like that. They just need to know that like she's becoming involved in the community and not just like sitting around and withering away. So,
Like a job.
and when we first started, she was going to what was it called? Sensation Station.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep, I've heard of that.
up a lot of tips there as well, like because she left there and then she still needed to practice those tips because she would just they'd go out the window. So we still had to like practice brushing her teeth and cutting vegetables and like
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff. So it was it kind of like it didn't feel like she was my child. It felt like she was my friend. But it was really cool to have somebody like depend on me like that and me have like a legitimate responsibility. So it really helped me mature a lot quicker, and I'm grateful for that. But I'm also like a lot more accountable for myself and others and just in general. So it was a very good experience.
Well, when someone needs you like that, it
Yeah.
definitely puts things into perspective and puts a different type of ownership on you. And that's clear from how Sydney reacted when she was able to see you after all that time.
Oh yeah, it was great.
So, Stephanie, what would you say in terms of all the experiences that you've had leading up to this, like with special arts and art of living and Special Olympics? Like, what do you think drove you to this direction of all those experiences?
I would say, believe it or not, maybe unified, but mostly special arts, even though that was this year, because that class just really made me learn patience and like I I had to keep everybody engaged and like keep it under control at the same time. So that really helped me with Sydney because I was working with like a whole class of individuals with special needs, so I was learning like new techniques that I could apply with Sydney. And I think that that's where I really got the patience key also was in art, so that's why I think it was the art class that really did it. But it was Unified that originally started it. I have to give Unified the credit.
Got it. And what would you say is next for you now in terms of this? Do you think you'll continue working with Sydney? What do you plan to study in school?
I'm gonna go for advocacy law, like pre-law and all that, and I'm gonna make laws, regulations against, like, can you stop? Jeez, for individuals with special needs, because there's like a lot of corporations that take advantage of them, and I want to make it clear that that's like unacceptable. And I know because my brother was part of one, he left it and everything, so that really made me strive to like. Plus, I like to argue. Like, I'm a good lawyer. I'm also very open-minded. Working with Sid has made me very open-minded.
Well, your story about how you stood up to someone in the restaurant.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was hilarious. For me, the mom was not happy. She was bright red. But I was like, "What are you doing? Like, come on."
Well, nice job. We have a few people still here, so if anyone has questions, I know that we can't see you, but you can type into the chat if there's any questions or comments you wanted to leave Stebby with, and I could read those off to her. Give everyone a minute.
Thanks for tuning in.
Like a new world doing it like this. I'm not used to this.
Yeah. This is like my second Zoom call ever.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm sure you could actually see everyone that's in your Zoom call as opposed to this where we can't tell. So we got a good job.
Thanks. She's right there. Cheapers.
Who else is on it?
I don't know. She can't tell. Can you tell me who else is on? I don't care who else is on it.
Lynn Landry, Maya, and then there's it looks like there might be a phone tuning.
No, that's my mom's phone.
Okay. So someone from Guilford Youth and Family is here. All right. Well,
thank you.
We don't have anyone else. Thank you. Nice job. Just make sure you get all your portfolio stuff to me as soon as you can.
I did just turn some stuff in.
Perfect. All right. Do you have any other questions before we hang up?
No, I just want to say thank you for allowing me to have this experience.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. And I think it's awesome what you've done for Sydney and what you're going to continue to do for people. It's
Thank
awesome.
you.
All right. Take care.